first guest this morning did not find out she was adopted until she was 46 years old, and that was after her parents died.
Susan Welch traveled across the country to locate her birth mother and other siblings who had also been put up for adoption. As part of her healing process, she penned this fictional novel, A Thread So Fine. It's filled with details of her own life as well as insights on womanhood and the stigma faced by unwed mothers and childless mothers as well. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
For having me. Good morning.
I can't get
What
over
a shock.
the 46-year-old
That would
revelation.
throw your whole world into a tizzy. You probably felt like you were in a tornado.
Yeah, really, that's exactly how it felt. I felt like I had a little tornado going on in my own body. I mean, it wasn't like winning the lottery, and it wasn't like sort of finding out I was terminally ill. It was just this crazy little chaos.
Were you angry or were you kind of excited?
Well, I wasn't either. I was mostly confused and sort of thrown off my mark. I certainly wasn't angry. You know, I was 46 years old. I had my son and my family, and I was basically, you know, a happy person. It was just kind of this thing that really unsettled me, and I definitely needed to know more.
Was it a shock to you? Because I often think in cases like this, especially at the age you were a mother yourself, were there things along the way where you're like, I don't know?
Molly, not at all. I mean, nothing.
Zero.
That's why it was such a shock. I mean, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I had really no idea.
No, real quick. So are these the siblings you grew up with?
Yeah,
Are you the youngest there?
No, I'm the middle.
You're the middle.
Yeah.
So you kind of look alike.
Yeah, well, we do, sort of.
And so were your other two?
We really look alike in that
Yes.
Were your other two siblings born to? So
Yeah, they were naturally
those are your
born.
adopted parents. So they had your older brother and a younger sister.
Yes.
Okay, and is this your birth mom or your adoptive mom? Oh, we
That's
just
my
went through it
dad.
real fast.
My dad who raised me, Bud. Wonderful man, and that's Betty, my mother. Yeah, who raised me. Yeah, they were wonderful.
Do you know why they didn't tell you?
Well, I suppose I don't know because I've never been able to ask them, but I suppose at least in part because I had an older brother and a younger sister, you know, and they might have, you know, who knows? I mean, I think it's because I was in the middle of two naturally born children. It was just easier when we moved from the Twin Cities, where the book actually takes place, to Milwaukee. I think sometimes secrets start out as things that you just don't talk about.
Right.
And then they become secrets over time. I think that's kind of what happened.
So what happens next? You find this out and you seek your birth parents.
I did, yep. I started looking, reached out to Catholic Services. It was a little bumpy. There were lots of obstacles in the way. There were laws that protect different parties. So it was not as straightforward as one might think. It was actually really took a while. But I did find within a couple years my half-brother, and he led me to my birth mother. And you know, long story short, we have all become rather close. And
So tell us who's in this picture and what the story is about the other. Are these your natural born sisters?
half sisters, yes.
Half sisters.
Yeah, and my birth mother, Peg.
Okay, so she's on the right. On the
And
far
look how
right.
much you look alike.
It's crazy how much we look alike. Yeah,
Wow.
That was the fun part.
And were they raised by your birth mom, or did they grow up in adoptive homes?
They were raised by Peg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your thought on unwed mothers and how they were treated, especially back then?
Well, you know, that's actually where the book kind of came from. I struggled in the beginning, of course, to know my own identity, but I couldn't figure that out overnight. So I started at the same time sort of thinking about that question, you know, what was it like I was born in 62, but I began to see that this sort of attitude towards unwed mothers really picked up steam after World War II. I think it probably served some sort of a societal need, but I think it ended up being rather cruel sometimes, you know, and difficult for these young women who were sort of told that this is what needed to happen, and sort of shunted off for these 9 months or whatever period of time, and you know, giving up babies and then sort of being asked to re-enter life as if nothing had happened. So I think there was a lot to be dealt with. Thankfully, things have changed. There's a lot more openness around adoption, for sure.
So who do you think would love this book? Is it really for children who've had similar experiences, or just anybody who would like to explore that sort of idea about women and what it means to be unwed or childless even? Because I know you explore all those.
I think any person who really likes historical fiction, especially mid-century, and who's interested in what, especially the challenges that women faced in sort of finding their own voice and coming of age, would find it interesting. I wrote it with my mother and my birth mother in mind.
Yeah.
So certainly that type of person I think would enjoy it.
What a cool story. And now another chance to have a whole new family
Yeah.
to be able to be a part of.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Good for you, and good for you for sharing all the details and letting people know about it, and then writing this book. You're going to be tomorrow at Boswell Book Company. People have the opportunity. That's located on Downer to meet you. It's at 7 p.m. It's a book signing. You can go to your website to find out more about you, Susan, the author. It's SusanWelchAuthor.com. You can also always revisit our website. But a great chance for people to meet you and talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks
a
so much.
pleasure.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.